Look, the CDC says the number of teens reporting poor mental health is increasing. And many of those young people, the truth is, they don't feel like they have someone to talk to. Teen Line is a peer support line where teens listen to other teens who are struggling with their mental health. In 2022, they responded to more than 6,500 calls, texts, or emails from teenagers. That's really exactly what they do. They just want to help kids get through the day.
I think teens are really a mess, are really struggling with their mental health. So I do think we are in a crisis where teens are just struggling. There's so much pressure on them. There's so much uncertainty around the future.
Teens Helping Teens is the goal of Teen Line. Teenagers call in to talk about mental health struggles, and other teens listen. 17-year-old Luna McNeff-Yee has been volunteering for 3 years. She says it's rewarding work.
There aren't that many resources that are so specialized for teenagers that allow teenagers to actually directly get in contact to more teens. So I think that was really special for me.
Teen Line volunteers specialize in crisis calls, suicide, child abuse, sexual abuse. But Luna tells me they will still listen to anything you need to talk about.
Sometimes teenagers are really struggling with a relationship or school stress or, an argument with their parents. And those things are no less valid just because they're maybe smaller issues. And so we handle those calls too. And so we'll take calls about any issue and we're willing to talk about anything.
The teen volunteers go through extensive training, but they still don't have the experience or even vocabulary of a medical expert. And Luna thinks that helps.
Because we can use language that teenagers are more familiar with. We can kind of reflect what they're saying a little bit better. And then they feel like they're talking, we're obviously trained and have a lot of supervision, but they're talking more to a friend versus talking to, a medical professional or something like that.
Teens just understand what it's like to be in high school, what it's like to grow up in a generation with social media, with the pandemic, with all these struggles. They have just common cultural references and nuances that we can't understand in that same way.
Senior Director Cheryl Eskin says Teen Line was founded on the idea that when teens are struggling, they are much more likely to turn to their peers than the adults in their lives. Her work as a leader here comes with the experience as a once 14-year-old volunteer herself.
I think I was like the therapist of my friends. I always liked to help people with their problems. So came to Teen Line, really found a home and a connection and just kind of a meaning.
Her hope is decreasing the stigma so that at any age, kids know it's okay to reach out and ask for help.
I do believe if we catch some of this earlier and we create a world where it's okay to talk about this, that things will hopefully get better.
Is hard. Being an adult is hard, of course, but she says, look, there are unique challenges to being a teenager, and she wants more people to just acknowledge that. If you want to just pass this number along to the teenager in your life, 1-800-852-8336. We have it on the bottom of your screen. That's from 6 to 10 p.m. every night, or they can simply text TEEN to 839-863 from 6 to 9 p.m.
There's such a power in that. Sometimes you just need somebody to talk to who's going to listen to you, that shares your experience, right? There's such a power in community.
Being a teenager these days, it's tougher than ever. With social media, bullying online. I feel for them. I really, really do.
No, there's so much, and listen, I love to complain about how being a kid was so much easier. Why did I want to be an adult? But the truth is, you know how to access help for yourself in ways that there's so much you don't know when you're a teenager. It is really hard being a teenager.
Yeah, and you feel like, I remember I actually had some students that did Teen Line when I was teaching, and they shared there's just the power of that and the power to be able to be there for their peers.
It's rewarding for them too. I think
really
that was also just talking to Luna there. She was talking about how this has been such a help for her. Helping others has been such a help for her, and so everybody wins.
Yeah, thank you so much, Brooke.